Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got something exciting for you today. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. That's right, so stay tuned to the end of this video for the details. But before we get into all that, the team over at FiFine sent me the Tank 3 dynamic microphone that we're going to do an unboxing of. You'll get to see an overview of the features, the build quality, and the accessories, and then I'll do an audio test with this microphone at the end so you get an idea of how it sounds. So without any more explanation, let's get into it. Alrighty, so we have our Tank 3 by FiFine here. Real quick, I'm going to go over some of the specs and features of this microphone. I'm going to overlay some video of the product itself so you guys can get a close-up and detailed look at what this microphone has to offer. Then we're going to go top down. I'm going to unbox it, show you what's inside the box when you get one of these. And then we're going to do an audio test. And I'm going to let you guys hear what this sounds like. Here we have the Tank 3 by FiFine. This is a XLR USB version. It is also a dynamic microphone. Some of the features are going to be real-time monitoring. So you have a jack for plugging your headphones into. You get a quick mute button. You can press that on and off to mute your audio during recording. You also get a volume control. You can see here, and then you get a monitor output control. This microphone is built out of a sturdy metal construction, so it does not feel cheap in any way, shape, or form. It is, again, an XLR/USB-C, so you have both outputs for both PC and other professional microphone interfaces. So with all that being out of the way, we got the microphone. We're going to go top down. I'm going to show you guys what's inside of it. And then we're going to get on to the audio test of the FiFine Tank 3 dynamic microphone. So in the box you are greeted with your paperwork here. You get your user guide. This is going to go over the connections and other specs and parameters of the microphone. If you're going to connect this to an audio interface, it's going to show you how to address the mic. You got a ton of information here. You guys can go through that if you guys pick one of these up. Then we are greeted with the microphone and the cable itself. We get our USB-A here, USB-A to USB-C cable. There's a connection there. And then we get the microphone itself. Pretty hefty mic, solid metal yoke, solid metal body, metal grill. It looks pretty good. I'm going to switch cameras real quick so you guys can see it over here. There it is there. Your control knob is there on the side. There's just the back of the microphone. There is the bottom of the mic. Your USB-C, your XLR, and your headphone jack. So I'm going to run this microphone in both configurations, USB-C and XLR, so you get to hear if there is any audible difference in running the microphone one way or the other. Let me get that set up and we'll be right back. So I have everything set up here. You can kind of see the computer. We are running this through the MacBook via USB-C. My current MacBook does not have a USB-A port, so I did not use the included cable that came with this. So USB-A to USB-C. I am actually using a iPhone cable, USB-C to USB-C. We have the mic running. We've configured this in Adobe Audition. You can see the little green light. So most I believe most any USB-C to USB-C cable will work in this application for this regards, but it is transmitting audio. I do have headphones here, so I could hear the audio being monitored. It is plugged into the back of the microphone here, as you can see there. So this is going to be a USB-C recording into Adobe Audition. Now to run this XLR version, I'm going to have to run it through Studio One Live, which is what I do all my music recording on. So it's going to be on the desktop. So it is going to be a different machine, but that should not change the audio quality performance of how it's going to process. Let's go ahead and hit record, and we're going to get this going. So the audio right now you're hearing is still coming from the DJI Mic Mini pinned to my shirt. Mic is active. We have the volume set all the way up on the mic, the monitoring about 50% on the level, and we have this at -3, in between -6, -3 through Adobe Audition. So we're gonna go ahead and hit record and see what this sounds like. Alrighty, so this is the audio coming straight from the FiFine Tank 3 via USB-C mode. I've already monitored this audio, and the audio sounds pretty good. It's pretty crystal clear. My first initial thoughts was it's not very bass heavy, so there's a nice pleasant mid presence and a little bit higher treble that adds some crispness and clarity to the microphone itself. I'm sure you guys can hear this in the audio recording as I'm talking, but you can always go ahead and change that in post. You can add your vocal presets and anything of that nature to the microphone itself. Again, you have your clear green mic mute indicator, so as I'm recording, if I were to press this and continue talking, it's going to cut the audio. So I'm going to just talk and say something, and then we're going to the audio you're hearing now is switched back to the Mic Mini. So we're going to unpress this and switch back to the mic audio. So now we are back to the FiFine Tank 3 after unmuting the microphone, and again, this is what the Tank 3 sounds like running through Adobe Audition using this microphone. So down in the comments, let me know what you guys think of the audio coming from the FiFine Tank 3 in the USB-C configuration. Again, I do have headphones plugged into this, so I have been able to monitor the audio. I'm not doing it right now because I already know what it sounds like. I have my level set, so I'm not having to wear headphones in the video while I'm recording. I'm just going to show you how the knobs work. So this top knob is going to be your mic input. The bottom knob is your headphone signal input. So the headphone signal input, you're not going to hear any difference in the video, but if I were to turn this down right now, so this is the mic gain input. If I were to just turn this down while I'm talking, you're going to be able to notice a noticeable difference in the signal quality. So it's going to go quieter and quieter. On whatever your specific preferences are for the application you're recording. Being able to adjust the mic freely, whether you're getting clean signal input or your input is hot, you can adjust your mic input accordingly through the mic, and you don't have to do it manually in the software. Now that we got all that out of the way, we're going to switch to the desktop. I'm going to open up Studio One. We're going to connect this via XLR, and we're going to do a recording that way. I've already kind of just like pre-recorded stuff, so running phantom power to the mic doesn't do anything. The signal through XLR mode is already quiet, so if you're using a software like this, you're going to need to normalize the audio to bring it back up to a suitable level, or you can just increase the gain on your input. I'm just gonna leave it as is and normalize the audio in post, and you'll kind of get to see that when I do that. Also, you lose all functionality of the monitoring aspect of the microphone, so the gain input on the mic itself and the headphone monitoring, you don't get any of that, so all your monitoring has to go through your audio interface. So be in mind when you're running this configuration as well. With that being said, we're going to set up a session here. We already have it up. I'm going to hit record and you're going to hear what the Tank 3 by FiFine sounds like running through XLR mode. Alrighty guys, so now the audio you're hearing is coming directly from the Tank 3 by FiFine. This is running in XLR mode. Again, the signal that is being transferred through the microphone into the software is kind of quiet, so you will need to normalize it or adjust your gain input post. The stuff I'm seeing on the waveform for this track recording is very small, so even with 48 volts phantom power, it's not sending that signal boost to the microphone. For whatever reason, I can't get it to recognize that signal boost. So you're just going to have to do your gain adjustments in post and normalize your audio that way. That's the best way I can kind of explain it as of right now. There might be another alternative I figure out down the road, but as the filming of this video, that's how we're doing it. So again, this is the audio coming from the FiFine Tank 3 running XLR mode. So overall, I'm impressed with the audio. Again, you guys are going to be the one who decides if you like the audio coming from this microphone in either format, USB-C or XLR. So I'm going to show you what it sounds like processed, and we're not going to put too many effects on it, but I want you to be able to audibly hear the difference between stock just running XLR into the software and then running XLR with some vocal enhancements, so you guys kind of get an idea of what you're going to need to do in post for processing this signal. So let's do that now. So now you're hearing the audio again coming from the Tank 3 by FiFine. This is the audio running XLR mode through the microphone into Studio One. This audio is now being processed through Studio One with vocal presets and a couple of EQ effects. So this will give you a better image idea of what this microphone can produce when it's been properly EQ'd and you have like a vocal preset on it. You should be able to hear an audible difference between the stock XLR recording and this. Yeah, down in the comments again, let me know what you guys think about the audio coming from the FiFine Tank 3. Overall build quality is pretty impressive. I like the features of everything that's presented on the capsule. The one-sided yoke is a little weird, not going to lie, but I think that's more just like a visual itch than anything. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the microphone. So again, this is the audio coming from the FiFine Tank 3 being processed. So we're going to close out this video. We're going to go back and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the FiFine Tank 3. I'm going to break this down into a couple of form factor categories. Overall, the build quality is solid. I'm quite impressed with the durability and the design factor of the microphone. I like the fact that it does XLR and USB-C. For this specific microphone, I feel like the XLR input, whatever internal hardware they're using for this XLR, is, I wouldn't say cheap, but it's not providing the signal output I would expect from a standard XLR microphone. But again, with a little post work, you can correct all the levels of the XLR input. The USB-C input, I had no issues recording that. I didn't even have to gain adjust anything. I like the headphone monitoring and the mic input adjustments on the mic itself. I do enjoy the mute button. I don't know how frequently I personally would use that, but if you're streaming or maybe even a podcast, this feature might come into play handy. Everything about it so far is good. The yoke, when you place it in a specific orientation, it stays where it's supposed to be, so that's good. What I would have liked to see on this microphone is two things that really stick out to me. One would have been an XLR cable. For the price that you're paying for this, again, it might be cheaper at the time of this recording or in the future, but for the price point you're paying for a professional grade microphone, if you have the USB-C and XLR option, it'd be nice to see an XLR cable included with that. Again, that's just me. Also, up here where you mount the microphone, I don't know if it's going to pick this up, but where you screw the mic on, let me see if it shows this. So basically, to thread this mic on, you have to rotate the entire thing to get it onto the mic stand. What would have been nice is kind of like the Shure SM7B, it has a threaded locking collar on it, so you can spin the collar on the mic and thread it onto your stand without having to rotate the entire deal or rotate the arm of the stand. Again, that's just a little, I wouldn't even say it's a gripe, but that's just something to take note of and pay attention to. A nice little threaded locking collar would have been nice to see on that. And fine, if you're watching this, maybe that's something you can introduce into a future model. Again, sound performance, build quality, everything is what you would expect it to be. It does the job and it sounds good at what it does. So again, if you guys want to check this out, I'm going to put links to fifine's website as well as their Amazon link for this microphone. If you guys want to pick one of these up for yourself, you're more than welcome to do so. Also, stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to be giving you guys details on the giveaway information for one of y'all to win one of these fifine Tank 3 microphones as a thank you. Here's how to enter the giveaway. Super simple. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below with your favorite video on this channel and what you'd use this mic for. You've got until the end of October to enter. I'll announce a winner here on YouTube with a real-time drawing, so keep an eye out and make sure you have the bell notifications on so you don't miss it. Again, good luck to everyone and thank you for being a part of this amazing journey with me. With that being said, I'll see you next time.